Coming out of a narcissistic relationship, it is extremely hard for anyone going through that abuse to be motivated to work on yourself. Is that you today? Like, are you struggling of like, how do I actually work on myself after I've been beat down over and over and over again? How's this even going to work? Today's video, I want to dive into just a step-by-step piece on rebuilding your life after the trauma of being in a narcissistic relationship. I want to give you a roadmap and help you actually move forward to reclaim your sense of self, understanding who you are and having the motivation for you to grow, develop, and thrive to be the person you're called to be. I want to give you practical strategies, help you regain control over your life and nurture your well-being, stepping you into a place of healing and then also self-discovery. First thing I want to talk to you about is embracing the power within. With this aspect, recovering from narcissistic abuse and reclaiming control over areas of your life and all that it can influence. So like, as you move forward, I want you to understand, like, when you go through this, it is a giant emotional turmoil of confusion, of control, of like, what is my reality? What is actually real? And it's critical to focus on what you can actually control. This is one of the hardest things, but we have to be able to bring it down to this one piece. The only thing we can change is you. The only thing that you can truly transform is you. Yes, there's a lot of questions of like, can he change? Will he change? Will this happen? Will it get better? Will we get back together? What about this? I get that. Take that for a moment, put it to the side. After you've gone through all of this abuse, it's crucial for you to understand this one thing. You are the only person that can truly transform. We can't do that for him. We can't spend the time on him because it's not going to work. If the narcissist changes for you, it will be short-lived and it will fall to the side and it will not happen. But we need to be able to work through it with you to help you moving forward over and over and over again. This starts with helping nurture you through these aspects of how do we actually do this on a day-to-day basis. And we're going to talk through how this impacts your body on a physical state. We're going to talk through like how this matches up with meditation or journaling, how this impacts your relationships, how this impacts you growing you. Maybe you're at the place where you've lost touch with all aspects of self-care. Self-care of how you take care of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You've lost track of all of that. And it makes sense because of the relationship that you've been in. It has been too overwhelming and too much has been placed upon you that it's your responsibility to care for another person and their emotions, their feelings, and their responses based on how they're treating you abusively. And so it might be something that we're just starting off really small. Some small thing that you can actually control today. Now, when I'm talking about this, when we're talking about like the depths of the abuse that happened, it might be super small that you're like, this is stupid. Like, why do I even do this? Might start with a daily walk. Might start with meditating 1 minute a day. It might start with writing something down in a journal to help you start to release and get things out of your mind. But it's small steps to help you gain control over well-being. These oftentimes look like habits that need to be formed, so that you continue to move forward, piece by piece by piece. The motivation that you're looking for isn't going to come by thinking about it, isn't going to come by just a really awesome speech, isn't going to come from me being like, rah, rah, let's go. It's not going to come from that. Motivation is going to stem from momentum. This is why it's important to do something, even if it's tiny. Because doing something shows you actually showing up for you. Not for me, not for him, not for someone else, but for you. When you do one tiny thing that shows up for you, it helps bring a tiny bit of momentum. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. And over and over and over, you get to the place where you start to be motivated because of the momentum that you've created. Think of it this way. A person is not motivated into action by sitting on the couch and thinking this would be a good idea. They're motivated by getting off the couch and doing something that starts to move them in that direction. Let's say someone's struggling to go to the gym on a day-to-day basis. Well, they might not be motivated because they don't have a good bedtime routine. They don't wake up on time. They don't have their shoes laid out. They don't have their clothes ready to go. They don't have a gym bag ready. They don't have all these things. And if they start setting this up, they start showing up for themselves in different ways. And it starts to produce this momentum of like, well, it's already ready. Let's go. But it takes time and it takes small little things. So I want to talk about rebuilding in 4 aspects. And these are aspects that we have inside of our programs, inside the things that I teach, inside the things that I live on a day-to-day basis. And part of this is breaking down this concept called the core 4. The core 4 breaks up life in 4 main areas, which is body, being, balance, and business. By focusing on these areas, you can actually help to move forward in a holistic aspect to help move forward in your healing and in your personal growth. Let me kind of explain how this breaks down. We're talking about these habits, right? These small things leading to motivation. So first and foremost, one of the easiest ones you can control is prioritizing your physical health. That's it. Like you can control this more than anything else. Is there ailments? Is there sickness? Is there autoimmune? Is there hair loss? Is there anxiety? Is there stress? 100%. But we can also come into the picture and say, hey, how are you going to show up for you today? Just through a simple exercise, just through a simple walk, just through a push-up or a sit-up or something that starts to activate you in a different way. Sometimes it's just pulling you out of the norm. Then it's like, what do I need to change in my diet? I don't say, hey, you need to go on this whole diet, but like, what would be one thing today you could add in that would just help you improve? Maybe it's just drinking water. Maybe it's just adding in a healthy snack. Maybe it's just something that's small because we're not looking to revamp your entire life in a moment. That's too much. That's too overwhelming. We're looking at what is one thing you can do today that's going to help you move forward. And it's building in the self-care routines that help nourish your body and promote the well-being that you deserve. But you have to do that for you. And it has to show up for you so you can actually be like, oh, this actually works. But how we would break that down is physical health of like exercise and also proper nutrition. Like doing the small things, nothing big. So when you're hearing me, don't be like, he wants me to go on a diet and work out all this time. No, do something small today that's going to help you move forward. Now, the second aspect is about being. Being is talking about this emotional, this mental, this physical state that you're in. Okay, so with this, we're talking about the inward side, body, the outward side. Being the inward side of like your inner self through mindfulness practices. Easiest one is meditation. You're like, I don't meditate. I don't know what that is. It's okay. Take a moment and sit down and be with yourself for a minute. You're like, the thoughts are swirling all over the place. I get it. It's a practice for you to be able to learn how to be still so you can actually move forward in your healing. Just take a minute, 30 seconds. 5 seconds one day, 10 seconds the next day, slowly work it up. And then when you sit with that, after you take those couple seconds, after you take those minutes, then sit down and just journal. Notice what you notice, write what came up, put it down on a piece of paper. You're like, how is that going to help me? It does. Because you start to get out of the swirling thoughts that are in your mind, you get them on paper. When you start to see them on paper, they take a whole new light in your world. You're able to start to get more clarity when you're able to see what's actually happening. This helps you reconnect with you, with your emotions, with your thoughts, with the strength you know that's inside, but you can't always articulate it. It doesn't always come out. Then we move into the third piece, which is balance. And this balance piece is talking about relationships. So what we will focus on is how are you cultivating healthy relationships with people that are uplifting you, that are helping you move forward. Maybe this is seeking support from friends or family or like support groups or communities. Maybe it's just surrounding yourself with positive people. Maybe it's stepping back from a person that is negative and helping you understand that it's crucial to put you in the environment of the people you want to be like in order to continue to grow and be the person you want to be. I'm not saying you have to go no contact. I'm just saying you need to notice what you notice about who you're around. How can we shift that just slightly? How can we adjust that? How can we spend 5 more minutes with someone else who's more positive? Like another family member that's helping you encourage you and do that. Small things. That's all we're talking about here. Now, the fourth aspect is in business. We talk a lot of people that run their own business, have their own companies. And so a huge piece is on the personal and the professional development. But with you, it might be like setting up just your own goals. pursuing hobbies that start to have you focus on you developing you. Maybe you need to explore different career opportunities that align with what you actually want to do because you're in a job where it's taking away a lot of your joy. It's taking away a lot of your passion. Doing this of focusing on how you grow and develop you helps provide the monetary aspect for you to be able to do the other things in your life as well. So I want you to think of this. Like, think of a person who's left an abusive relationship. You feel completely lost. You feel completely disconnected. And you start by just doing something small. Maybe that's attending a yoga class, starting physical well-being. Maybe that's starting a daily gratitude journal for mental clarity. Maybe that's starting down that road. Maybe that's reconnecting with supportive people, like starting to have emotional balance. Maybe it's enrolling in an online course to advance your professional skills or your personal skills. Maybe it's just the step to move you forward. Your path to empowerment comes through the tiny steps and the tiny decisions you make today to help you move forward. It's a journey of rediscovering your worth and your power. If you're ready at this point to reclaim your life and find that motivation to work on yourself, take the small step today. Go to escapetoxicity.com. It's our 7-day challenge for $7, helping you to discover community and practical strategies to guide you moving forward in your healing. If you want more of a personalized approach, then you can consider working with me. You can go to rawmotivations.com, grab a one-on-one there. Would love to be able to help you however we can. But remember this, you have the strength to overcome the aftermath of the abuse and create a life that's filled with empowerment and growth. Don't forget, if you have a chance, subscribe for more content coming up.